Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. Let's say good morning to everybody is here. Good morning, Josiah, you sexy fucker too. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Shauna. I know it's cold, Shauna. We actually had our water stopped up a little bit this morning. Hopefully your water is doing all right. Good morning. Let's see here. Susan says I had to de-ice my bird fountain. Poor babies couldn't drink. Now I have so many birds drinking. Oh, that's beautiful, Susan. I'm glad you're taking care of the birds. Yeah, I had to take care a little bit of my my hot water was frozen, which was not the most difficult thing to take care of. Just just open up the tap and wait for it to start flowing again. But anyways, I want to say thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to do the thing we do every morning at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. Pepper has prepared another card for us, and I'm going to pull that card. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. As we do this, we are building into our own lives. We are switching up our perspective on what's going to go on today. Fact is that today is going to bring us joy. It's going to bring us adversity too, as every day does. And we are going to just give ourselves the ammunition necessary to really to be with the day and to just rock it. So let's have some fun. Let's pull a card and say that today I am enough. I am enough. I cultivate inner peace and fulfillment. So I am enough. I cultivate inner peace and fulfillment. Are you enough? You are enough. You cultivate inner peace and fulfillment. I'm going to write that down in the comments, and I encourage you to do the same thing. Indeed, I am enough, and you are as well. Together, we are cultivating inner peace and fulfillment today. I know every time enough comes up, a couple of people are like, I'm too much. Well, let me tell you, if you were too much, then you wouldn't be here anymore because you'd be too much for the place. But I think that, And even when we're too much, we're still enough. Even when our cup overflows, we still have a full cup. Indeed, I am enough, and you are enough as well. And I think that this is probably one of the thinking traps that I get caught in most of all, is thinking that I'm not good enough, or that I'm not skilled enough, or that I don't have not prepared enough to do whatever it is that I desire to do in my life. And I'm not sure why that is. I think maybe it's just because I have big goals and big dreams. But the fact is that I have been enough thus far. I have accomplished all the things, and even when I failed at stuff, and let me tell you, my nobody's life is without failure, mine included. But even when I failed at stuff, I've been able to dust myself off and do it again and try again. And nobody is defeated until they admit defeat. And so if we don't admit defeat, then we can continue approaching it from a different angle, as long as it is important to us. So I am enough today. You are enough as well. And we are going to cultivate that inner peace and fulfillment. And we do have to cultivate it. It's not like inner peace and fulfillment just happens in our lives. Inner peace and fulfillment comes when we are intentionally focusing on inner peace and fulfillment. When we are intentionally focusing on the ideas that we are doing the right thing, that we're moving in the direction that's most important to us. We get that inner peace and that fulfillment when we're living in accordance with our values. And this is something that requires a bit of effort. And just like in the same way that a farmer tills the soil before they put it down to seed, so too do we have to till the soil of our minds. So too do we need to make sure that we are laying our seeds in fertile ground. These words that we say is the fertile ground. These words that we say in the mornings, that this is the fertile ground that we lay our ideas into. When we say that we are enough, every idea that we have that comes after the idea that we are enough is an idea that we are going to approach with gusto, because we believe that we can actually do it. I don't know about you, but have you ever had a dream that you didn't think that you could achieve? Have you ever dreamed a dream so big and you're like, I don't know if I could even do that. I don't know if nobody's ever done that before. And when we think these things, first of all, we get excited about the dream, and then we get discouraged because nobody's ever done it before. And of course, the fact that nobody's ever done it before doesn't mean it can't be done. It just means nobody's ever done it before. That's why it was a dream that was placed inside of your heart, inside of your mind. Well, I know that this happens. I know that this happens to me sometimes as well, when I decide I'm going to do something, or I think, wow, the world would be a better place if this or that or the other thing happened. And then I think, well, who am I to do that? Who am I to be the one that makes that happen? If nobody else has been able to do it, well, maybe it can't be done. Of course, this is poisonous thinking. This sort of thinking comes from a place of not enoughness. This sort of thinking comes from a place of insufficiency. It comes from an idea that, well, just because I dreamed it doesn't mean that it can't be done, because ultimately I can't do it. And in the end, when I look back at my life, everything that has been really important to me, I have done, and everything that has been really important to me, I have figured out how to do, even if I had no idea how to do it at the beginning. Even if at the beginning it was nothing more than just a dream. Even if at the beginning it was nothing more than just a nebulous idea of where I wanted to go forward to. It just took it a little bit at a time, one step at a time, one day at a time, one challenge at a time. And I would walk toward my goal, and then realize that there was something standing in the way that I hadn't considered. And then I had to figure out how to move that out of my way. Well, the only difference between stumbling blocks and stepping stones is the way that we use them. And believe me when I tell you, all of us have plenty of stepping stones. We all have enough stepping stones in our lives to build a castle with. And so let's do that. Let's take those stepping stones that are in our lives, and let's build a castle with those. Let's build a castle of our dreams. Let's make sure that that today, no matter where we go and what we do, that we are moving toward the things that are most important to us. And as particularly the goals and the dreams that scare us, the ones that we're like, well, who am I? But nowadays, when I think, who am I to do this? And I realize, well, I'm me. And I must be the one who is supposed to do this, because this dream has entered into my mind. And so I am enough. I am enough to accomplish the big tasks. I am enough to accomplish the big goals. I am enough to figure out the figure outable, and I am enough to change the world. And you are enough as well. You are enough to change the world. You are enough to figure out the things that you've never done before. You are enough to to bring into reality the dreams that you hold closest to your heart. Today is the day to do that. Now is the time to do that. And when we believe that we are enough, it allows us to do that with confidence because we're approaching this from an idea that we can as opposed to an idea that we can't. If anything, Henry Ford says, and I've quoted it many times on this show, if you think you can or think you can't, you're right. And Henry Ford was a person who thought he could about a lot of things and ultimately changed the world. But he wasn't any more special than anybody else. He just had some ideas and he ran with those ideas. Well, nobody has a monopoly on ideas. All of us have ideas. The difference is that many people don't pursue those ideas because we don't believe that we're enough to actually bring them to fruition. We're afraid of failure. Well, failure is something that all of us have to go through. Failure is something that all of us have experienced in the past. But just because we've had it in the past doesn't mean that it is a life sentence for our future. Every single time that I've failed at something in the past, it has always been a stepping stone towards something better in the future. So I am enough. You are enough also. And we together are enough to make this world a better place, to remake it in our own image, and to be a cooperative component in making this world an awesome spot. All right, my beautiful friends, I will return tomorrow at 9 a.m. We will have another one of these. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for attending the wake up call. Many thanks to Pepper for creating these cards. It's always fun to riff off the theme, and many thanks to you guys for being here. So I want to say good morning again to Josiah and Susan, Shauna, Dan. Wonderful to see you guys here today. I know that Tony popped in also, and of course, as always, thank you so much for sharing the stream, Tony. We are enough. We can do it, and I'm encouraged to see my friends doing it. And I hope that you guys are encouraged to see me doing it as well as I bring the most important things in my life into reality. I will talk to you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Until then, I love you. I appreciate you. I care about you. And aloha from paradise.